What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. And today with me, we got my brother B.
Bienvenidos, everybody.
Yes, bienvenido todos. We got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, yes, yes. So we have some news for Al today, talking about that Highlander. It's
Yeah,
coming
man.
back, Al. And then
Ah,
we're also going to talk about Amazon buying MGM Studios. We got an Eternals trailer because why? We recorded on a Monday. Every time we record on a Monday, new trailer comes out. Sorry, Sanjay. It sucks. Sucks, bro. Sucks. But we're also going to give a quick review of Army of the Dead and get you guys ready for A Quiet Place Part 2 that comes out this Friday, the movie that we've been waiting for about a year now. I can't believe all these movies that we should have seen already have not seen yet. Black Widow. You know, when Endgame ended, I thought it was going to be like, a couple of weeks. Well, 2 years. 2 years. But
All Endgame's fault. All Endgame's fault.
Yeah, Endgame's fault. And C-19, who will remain nameless. Shall not say its name.
no.
We got the incredible Marvel Studios putting out an Eternals trailer today, this morning, Monday, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It was
And
interesting.
I'll tell you why it was okay, because the words from Marvel Studios showed up, and that's the only reason it was. Because if that thing didn't have a Marvel Studios logo and they didn't hit you with the Captain Rogers little reference at the end,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have been like, "What the fuck movie is this?" Brandon, what'd you think you saw the trailer there?
It's kind of funny because when the trailer came up, it said teaser trailer. And yeah, it was a big tease because nobody said anything till the end. That's the
Yeah.
longest teaser trailer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Teaser
it was-
trailers are like 30 seconds. That was 2.5 minutes of like people. And I'm like, all right, there's a building, there's some golden shit. Okay, they're doing stuff. And it's over. Okay. I don't even know what their names are.
Yeah. I only know Cersei because of all the promotions.
Yeah.
That's it.
and Rob Stark. So
Rob,
how about
he's
you,
playing
Albert?
Rob Stark.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the trailer there?
For what it was supposed to be the teaser trailer. It was pretty cool. You got you interested seeing them in their costume, like their full uniform, and seeing them use their abilities and so forth. It was a good thing, seeing what's his name do Bollywood, because I think his character is like a movie star, and
Is it Camille Nanjiani?
yeah. But I still want to say I want to know what the story is, and I guess we won't get that till like their first official trailer. But it served its purpose, a teaser. It gave us a little piece of what everything is finally going to look like. And I thought it was funny that throwing that little Captain America Steve Rogers joke at the Iron Man Steve Rogers joke at the end of the clip. Like, okay, so they're aware of the Avengers, and
Uh-huh.
these being the Eternals who have been around for thousands of years and so forth, for them to be aware, and it's going to be interesting to see why they stood back. And I think that was to address that they were there for all of that and they just stood back. So if they stood
Right.
back for all of that shit,
What's bringing them out?
what's making them say, okay, no, now we have to step in? If you stood out of Thanos taking out half of everybody, what's making them come out? So now I'm
Yeah.
interested more so for what's the story.
Yeah, I have to say that's probably the one thing that made me more amped up a little bit for the movie, because to be honest, when I looked at the trailer, it was a really nice looking trailer. It looked like it's phenomenal VFX.
Yeah.
Looks like it was shot like it was beautiful. The sunrise, the passing of time, the different powers you can see the different Eternals using there. But the thing that I really kind of wanted to see was who were the bad guys. We got a small little hint because they said until now was the time that they were going to come out of hiding. And when they said that, it had a picture of a guy walk up to the camera smiling with a weird smirk. So I can assume that that's going to be the bad guy somehow, some way. He's one of the Eternals. But I heard the deviants are in this movie, but didn't see any deviants. But again, like Brandon said, this is a teaser trailer, so hopefully that'll come more with the story trailer to the first trailer they have, most likely coming out with Black Widow, or as we get closer to Shang-Chi, it'll probably come out at that time. But again, I honestly feel like if it wasn't that it was a Marvel trailer, I don't think anybody would have really been like, really, what's this? The one cool thing I have to say is when that UFO or the spaceship that they came in showed up, that looked pretty damn cool. So yeah,
that was cool. That was real cool.
I mean, now Brandon, with like the comic book lore of the Eternals, is this something you're looking forward to, or it's just because it's Marvel you're good to go?
I mean, I'm Marvel. I'm good to go always. The comic books of the Eternals is weird because, like, it was a Jack Kirby thing, to kind of combat the new gods from DC. And the comic book series didn't last very long until like they brought it back with Thor. They're like, oh yeah, the Eternals, and then they kind of had the Black Knight, who is played by Kit Harington in this movie. So you get a Robb Stark, Jon Snow reunion in this movie, which was cool. The Eternals are a weird group, and especially how like they wage war against the Deviants, and kind of how like Thanos is essentially a Deviant, because his father was somebody that they know. So I'm interested to see like if that is something that comes in the movie. I'm also interested to see what the timeline is. Like, we got the nod to the Avengers at the end of that clip, but I want to know, is this movie taking place in the present or is it taking place in the past? So I'm interested because their comic book run is really weird. Like, they're just super powered, beings that are supposed to be stronger than our superheroes. So I want to know what's going to be the difference between them and how they kind of relate to our known Avengers and such. Because if they're so super, why are we going to have an Avengers kind of a thing? So I want to see what the limit is on these guys.
Absolutely. And now Al, also coming in the vein of these are characters that we really don't know of. It's kind of like almost like we're second guessing them a little bit. But the last time we did that, we got our boy Star-Lord. So, if there's any reason to trust Marvel with these obscure characters that we don't know about, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because before those movies came out, I don't know anybody who read those comic books like that.
And that goes to the same thing. Like, I'm more interested in the story than what they're gonna do, because I know visually they're gonna impress the crap out of us. They got good actors to play almost all the roles, so if not every role. So I think the acting is going to be on par. So it's the story, and to the point, to what we were just saying, or at least what we were just saying before, for these guys to sit out through everything, and to what Brandon was saying, if Thanos is a deviant, and that's who they were like created to be against, then why didn't you come out when Thanos showed up? Why didn't he bring you out of hiding? So I'm again like I'm hoping that they can live up to the story to explain and truly justify why these powerful beings thought to sit out that last event, but yet now they're coming out for this. It's got to be some, like, because we've already lost half of everybody. Like what can you do worse than that made these guys say, okay, not now, we're getting involved,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So I'm just more looking forward to the story. I'm hoping the trailer starts hinting at what it is, because that's usually where the trailers go. They'll give you a piece of the storyline, the plot line, give you an idea of what's going to happen. Like you said, we may get glimpses of who the actual villains are or the big bads.
Kronos.
So that's what I'm looking for.
When you said Kronos, for some reason I heard Google Chrome. And I'm like,
Chrome.
Google Chrome does not work with my college, so neither does Safari. Safari's terrible with my college, so the Eternals can battle those two. Yes.
This is what made us come out of retirement.
You crashed the computers. Yeah, man. And then in other news, man, Al sent us something this afternoon showing that Amazon is actually purchasing MGM Studios. It's the home of, I believe, 007 is one of those main main things for the MGM
I
Studio.
think they were saying we're gonna get the official word. So
Okay, so it's
yeah,
to be continued, but I
yeah,
mean anything like that, like you see these studios are doing this to kind of like expand their I guess their digital plan of becoming one of these like big things like Disney Plus and Netflix.
yeah.
Now you have WB selling off the HBO Max here to the people who do TLC network, the Home and Garden Television, which
Yeah.
I didn't know made so much goddamn money to
Oh,
buy
good.
WB, but yeah.
Yeah.
And now you have Amazon, who's already in the game as Amazon the Prime, their own little series, their own little digital network where they have their own shows and
Mhm.
documentaries and things like that. Now they're going to get into it with these movies from the MGM studios. With all this stuff happening, like, Al, what's your take on like where do you think all this stuff is headed, man? Because I kind of feel like it's almost like how we were when we were younger. I remember we would get the optimum list of all the channels you could get, and there were certain packages that had HBO and Cinemax.
Yeah.
There was another package that had something else. I feel like we're going to get to that point with the digital stuff where we're going to have a package of Disney Plus and Netflix together.
Yeah. In a way, it's like I'm excited because it brings all of this property to become more available than what it was. Because now through Amazon putting it on their platform and them wanting to gain viewers and subscribers, they're going to make this content more available than what it is right now. So we get to see these movies easier. We get greater access to the portfolios that MGM had. But what concerns me is we're going to be limited. I mean, if Amazon buys MGM and this person and this company buys that um,
Hmm.
studio, and you're going to have three options for us. And then what's that going to do to the quality going forward if they're just relying on all this old IP and you only have three options? We see what happens when you have limited options.
Yeah.
Competition isn't that great, so there's nothing to push anything forward. And so that's not just my only concern is you had all these studios that had their little niches of types of movies,
Hmm.
and what happens when that only comes down to studio heads saying, well, how many subscribers is that going to bring us? And that's what drives the decision instead of, these studios having and saying, you know what, this is the type of movie we do.
Hmm.
And you knowing that just by knowing it was an MGM movie, you knew what kind of movie you were going to get. And now I feel like that's all going away. I mean, you're going to come down to Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And Brandon, I know you always say you call yourself a minimalist there, where you try to limit the amount of things that you have. So I mean, how do you feel about that? Where if you want to watch 007, you have to have Amazon Prime. If you want to watch, anything from Star Wars or Marvel, you got to have Disney Plus. And if you want those shows on Netflix, you got to get Netflix. And it seems like you're getting down to choosing or having all these different plans. Where are you on all this?
For me, like I thought about this before because when I heard about the acquisition of HBO,
Hmm.
I thought about it. Oh, I have the Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Soon in the next 6 months, they're going to be one app, and whatever app that is going to be tailored and streamlined to be more efficient. Because I see problems with both apps. So for me, like in the minimalist approach, I can see myself hopefully saving money, hopefully
Hmm.
$5 or $6. It all adds up at the end of the year. So $5 or $6 I'll save, and I get a cleaner platform that is, well, hopefully, that is more UI focused, more user interface, is more appropriate, that allows the content to be section marginalized off so that way you can choose in an easier way what you want to watch. So like if you have Discovery Plus is like 25 different channels.
Hmm.
And that's kind of weird to navigate, but they make it easier because they give you all the channels in little bubbles. So
Right.
now all they have to do is just make an HBO bubble, and then you have access to all the HBO content of a series of movies, TV shows, whatever it may be, and you can still add content the same way. So
Hmm.
for like, if I look on my Apple TV right now, because I don't like cable, I have 7 different streaming platforms from Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, this and that, for these to start merging and only having 3 platforms, that's 3 subscriptions instead of the other ones that I can't keep track of anymore.
Right.
It's a little bit more streamlined for the user. And
Eh,
it allows the companies now to have more people working on these teams that can make these apps more streamlined, more appropriate in the user interface options. They can look better. Like, I don't know if you guys use Amazon Prime, but Amazon Prime is the most disgusting UI of all the streaming platforms. It's pretty shitty.
right.
Sorry, Amazon. It's pretty shitty.
It's
So
pretty
if
basic. It is pretty
yeah,
basic. Yeah.
for not being Amazon Basics, Amazon Prime, for Amazon now being acquisition to something else, that allows a better team of people to work on it, making it a little bit easier for users to navigate. Like when I go on Amazon Prime, unless you tell me what I'm looking for, I have no idea how to navigate it between rentals, between what's on there for free, what's on there because I pay for it. Like it's so hard to navigate.
Right.
So with these acquisitions, you now get the chance for better teams to come in to develop these apps and make them a little bit more user friendly.
Yeah, I don't know about me. I get a little bit worried about all this stuff, man, because I see the downfall. I see the positive and negatives of both, right?
Mhm.
Because the positive is we have people who are more about the product, more about the movies and the different types of takes they can make on movies and letting the artists be artists kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, I remember how excited I was with Fox being taken over by Disney. But when was the last time we got a Deadpool movie, a X-Men movie, or any other movie that's with the Fox thing? Like, I haven't really seen anything. So it's like it's being held back because Disney has their plan of what they're doing with their movies, and we'll get to those when we get to those kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I don't want, now, Amazon to be like, well, we're gonna push back 007 because Without Remorse Part 2 and Rainbow Six are coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if there were multiple platforms, you have different things like almost like a competition. So it's almost like if you're gonna put that out now, Disney Plus has to step it up and put something else out that either equal, equivalent, something that's just as good or same
Mhm.
quality. But when they're all starting to be owned by the same people, it's just like, oh no,
Yeah.
we're getting to this point where it's just gonna be like everything is kind of be like streamlined, and I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly really good for the consumers because
Mhm.
prices can go up because now we have to go to them for everything. Prices start going up, like Disney Plus slowly going up, guys, every
Oh
year.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but not only that, they then also stagger the release of these content because, for example, look at Disney. Disney has Marvel and they have Star Wars. You're not gonna ever have again a holiday where you have both, say, a Star Wars movie and a Marvel movie coming out. Because now Disney doesn't want them competing and taking money away from each other. So now
No.
you're gonna get one movie that's gonna play out for however many weeks until they feel the sales have dropped. Then they'll let the other one come out. So
Hmm.
instead of having multiple good quality movies out, because one chain owns all of the rights,
Right.
they're going to stagger it based on what they want their revenue to be, as opposed to I mean, granted, I'm talking from the point of a fan, but like I would want to see both of these movies at the same time, and instead of it being staggered months after, because
Greedy.
yeah, because they want to make sure. Wait. I want to make sure you went to go see the other one first, and then
Yeah.
you come and see this because I want your money for both. You were going to get it both, but
Yeah.
how they always fight over release dates and so forth.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna get it within the same company.
Yeah. Brandon, you hear Al over there being typical American. Just never enough with Mr.
Yeah.
my hope though is for like these movie people is that these studios, obviously we've seen it with Fox now and Disney and how that relationship hasn't really built itself. But my hope is like with MGM, that even though Amazon is its owner, it doesn't really influence what happens with the MGM studio and line of movies. Because I like to think about it like Coke. Coke owns everything, but Coke doesn't authorize what Chipotle does with its menu and its foods. So like my hope is it's going to be running that way where there's an owner now for this studio who's supplying your budget, supplying more money to your films, but you still get the option of making the movies that you want to. That's my hope and how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting, man. Listen, I just hope for positive stuff to happen from this deal if it goes through, and we'll be waiting to see the content that comes out, and we'll go from there to decide how we feel about it.
Yeah.
But if you guys are watching out there on YouTube or listening on the podcast, let us know what you think. Well, what's your thoughts on Amazon buying MGM Studios or in the process of it? You guys hear about, like I said, the Discovery Channel also purchasing the Warner Brothers, HBO Max thing there. With all these things being bought out and coming together to form these bigger companies, what's your thoughts on all that? So comment below or email us and let us know your thoughts at therealfanreview@gmail.com. And in the last bit of news that only pertains to Al,
there can only be one.
There can be only one.
It can be
shit, I
only
even
one.
said it wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I have the DVD Blu-ray. I'll let you guys watch it.
All right. So for Al, if you guys don't know what we're talking about here, it's because it's the Highlander.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's being greenlit there, where it's going to come out to this. It's being made by a studio there, and they're starring Henry Cavill as their main lead in the movie there. Now, Al said one time that he would love to see the Highlander redone with today's VFX.
Yeah.
So Al, how do you feel?
Somebody heard me, man. Somebody heard, yo. And for it to be somebody good like Henry Cavill, it makes me even more optimistic for the movie. Because he showed his ability when he did The Witcher. So I'm interested to see. The only concern I have is the main character's name was McLeod. So I don't know if Henry Cavill can pull that off, but let's see. If they're gonna have to change up the story. Give him a different origin because the people did come from a lot of the countries. I remember when the first movie came out, you had Sean Connery. He was from Spain. He was a Spaniard, and then the main villain was, I think, a Russian. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this. I hope they don't get too political with it. Just let it be a good story, and just go through the tournament. It wasn't necessarily a tournament, but it was a series of battles until there was only one.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is you don't want an Irish Batman. I'm looking at Brandon. A Scottish Batman.
Robin.
Robin.
Gonna get the Joker. Such bad casting. Like, come on.
Yeah, but I watch. It's funny because after we did that episode where I said I wanted them to redo it, I rewatched the movie, and it is so dated. Like, oh my God. If it wasn't for the fact that I enjoyed the story of it so much, God, it'd be one of the few movies I would turn off because it's so dated now. So I'm glad they're bringing it now to the modern times.
There you go, man. And then see if the rest of the, the real fans out there watching, if you're interested in seeing the Highlander movie, we'll be talking about it once we get that first trailer, see Al's reaction as well.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for that one. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And then this week, like I said, we're going to give you guys a quick review there of the Army of the Dead, new movie by Zack Snyder that was put out on Netflix last week. And I know the fellas got a chance to watch it. And I got to say, man, I was pleasantly surprised. So let's just go non-spoilers really quick. And then if you guys are in the mood, we'll go for a little quick spoiler on there. But non-spoiler for me, listen, this movie is in my top 3 movies of 2021, which isn't saying much because I saw the rest of the movies in my 2021. And I was just like, okay. But I got to say, I really enjoyed sitting there watching it. It was a little crazy. It was definitely Zack Snyder slow-mo. There's some crazy scenes in there, some interesting stuff that they did with zombies, and I thought it was pretty good, man. Even Dave Bautista, man, shout out to Dave Bautista doing his thing on there in the lead role. Yeah, so he got the feels out there for a big guy, and the story was pretty good, pretty interesting. There's a couple gross scenes in there, but also a lot of, like I said, interesting stuff that what they did with zombies in this one. It's not your typical zombies that just walk slow and go, you know. So I really enjoyed it. If I have to recommend it to people, my recommendation would be you should see it. I really do think you should see it. It's pretty good. Again, it's my top 3 as of right now, May 24th, 25th. We're on today, 24th, and I would say, yeah, you should see it there. B,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts, man? You got a chance to watch Army of the Dead?
I'm gonna conflict just a little bit, just a little bit.
Go for it,
I
man.
didn't think it was great. I
No,
thought
no.
it was I thought it was good and it was entertaining. It was holy hell way Zack Snyder. The storytelling element is so Zack Snyder. I don't really understand why the guy needs to just like overshoot every story he tells. Like you can tell that there's a 4-hour cut of this movie sitting somewhere on the development floor. You know it's sitting
Absolutely.
somewhere.
Absolutely. I pressed play and that thing said 2 hours and something changed. I'm like, God damn you, Zach. All the time, man. All the time. You got to go with this epic stuff, man.
Like there's a 4-hour cut sitting somewhere,
Yeah,
and they're just like,
absolutely.
Zach, listen, it's Netflix, so we'll give you the extra hour. But come on, man. I thought it was good. But Dave Bautista did his thing. I liked the other co-stars for. I'm not spoiling anything for the time that they were on screen. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a zombie movie, so I think you know where this is going. I think the acting was good in the first. I would say there's 3 acts of this movie. I would say the first act was a really good, setup for the movie. The second act was good, and then it started to waver a little bit, and the third act was just balls to the wall, let everything happen. Now it kind of lost me a little bit, but it was entertaining. Good movie, I'd say. Honestly, if you have the 2.5 hours sitting there, go ahead and watch it. It's a good time. Don't take it seriously. I think this is a weird thing to say. I think this is like the first time Zack Snyder didn't take himself seriously either.
Yeah.
So I think for that kind of movie, you're like, it was really good to watch.
Yeah,
So
man.
definitely check it out.
How about you, Al, man? What was your thoughts on the Army of the Dead there?
I thought it was good. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. In the beginning, I was a little scared. I was a little nervous because there's a
Uh,
couple things when we get into spoilers and we talk about stuff specifically.
uh-huh.
There was a couple things that were happening in the beginning of the movie that I said, "Oh, I hope this isn't the tone of the whole movie." But then they immediately turned it around. I was like you said, I was impressed with Dave Bautista. He did a real good job. The characters weren't overdone. Like for a zombie movie, it's very
Right.
easy to get over exaggerated characters and so forth.
Oh, you
And they
still
did
got that. You definitely still got
some of
that.
them, some of them, some. But for the most part, for what I was expecting, no. Especially when you take like Amari Hedwig, his character's main weapon. Like even with that, they didn't go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was expecting like a lot of gore. I thought it was going to be like a lot more than what it was.
Yes.
But there was an actual story. Like even the main villains, the Zeus, the main zombie, his queen. The dynamic between them and all the other zombies, the dynamic between the heroes of the movie. It led more to than a movie of just people killing mindless zombies. And at the end of the movie when things play out, like it actually made you feel something when that stuff happened, because
Yeah.
it wasn't just everything in the movie wasn't just senseless. Like there was
Gotcha.
actual, like you said, there was feelings and emotions behind everything that was going on. There was comedy, like the what's his name, the Vault Breaker or whatever they call him.
Yes, yeah.
He had me dying with some of his lines. So it was definitely, I was definitely surprised and pleased, especially given the fact that I got a little nervous in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And listen, you're hearing it from all three of us here. You should definitely give it a check. It's a good time. Just get it, get it into your head. It's a 2-hour zombie movie because it's Zack Snyder. He can't help himself.
He
The guy's
just
just like,
can't.
he's like, keep it going. Just keep it going. Keep talking.
He's
Let's see
like,
what
I've got
happens.
this story, but if you just want to add anything in the middle of this, you go ahead. Let's go.
Just
Like,
you go. Just go. He's like, anybody got ideas?
Okay.
I got an hour and a half set up. Anybody got another 2 hours? Anybody?
It's nuts. Brett, he definitely has a 4-hour cut of this movie.
Okay.
I guarantee that there's not just a 4-hour cut. There's a black and white version sitting out somewhere. I already know.
Oh man. All right, guys. So listen, you heard us talk about it with the non-spoilers there. So for the people who haven't got a chance to watch Army of the Darkness, I'm sorry, Army of Darkness. I'm sorry, Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead. You just go ahead and pause us right there. Go check it out. and then come back to us to hear the spoilers talk of this movie, man. So we're gonna get right into it now with Army of the Dead. And Al, talk to me, man. What was the scene that you said that just was like, oh, it got you? Like,
Well, it was the very beginning scene because to me, my problem with that whole scene and
It was very Zombieland.
no, it was that, and then not only that, you're transporting something so serious that you called the couriers the Four Horsemen. So obviously, whatever you were shipping was very dangerous. Yet nobody in the transport knew what they were transporting or how dangerous it was.
or that the headlights in their face.
Yeah. Not only that, and then on top of that, when all the shit's going down and they're talking on the radio, you're telling me you have a trained Marine who doesn't know how to talk on the radio and doesn't know how to understand an order when it's been given to him? Like I understand you need to make some stuff happen in order for the movie to play out, but
Yeah.
don't insult the military. Like, I mean, that was like, he was like, huh, I don't understand. What do you mean? Get out. Like, what don't you understand about get out? Like, he was like, I don't understand. What are you telling me to do? I said, she said, get the fuck out of there. Like,
Yeah.
but then
it's so
after that,
crazy.
and then, they went a little over the top with showing like what happened after the three guys went into
Oh,
Vegas.
the open montage.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a
That was-
long ass montage.
Yeah, kid. And I was like, I hope this movie, like Brandon said, it reminded me of like Zombieland and all those types of movie where
Yeah.
all the killings are like over the top,
I
ridiculous.
thought it was gonna be a comedy because of the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got past that and they went into, okay, this is what's happening now and everything. And one of the plot points that kind of got, I guess it went over my head because I didn't think
I think I'm right there with you. You go ahead, you say it.
was the Vault guy. I don't know if that's where you're going. Like, why did you need him?
Oh,
The
we are on
guy
two different
who-
pages.
Yeah. The guy who owned the casino is the one hiring you. He wants you to go into his vault, but you need someone to break you into it? Like, no. Bro, what's the
I
combo?
completely missed that.
Yeah, kid, what's the combo? You got you got 4 dials on there. I need 4 combos.
Give me the numbers before I go,
Yeah.
please.
Why are we wasting time with 90,000 zombies running around breaking into your vault?
Your fault. Like you didn't know the combo.
That's insane. I didn't even realize that. I thought that, but then I'm like, nah, they're breaking into the thing, so it must not be his. He must just know that there's a vault in there. So I was like, I must have missed
It was the
something.
Bly Casino, and the guy was something Bly. Like, it was his freaking place.
Oh man,
See, I
gotta
thought-
go for it, B.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say zombie fetus because
That was. I mean,
I
they
was
were
like,
hinting at that
They're
hard.
dead. How?
they were hinting at it, and I was just like, all right, like it's like okay, like these two zombies are lovers. I was like, all right, and then all of a sudden, like the fetus happened, and I'm like, are we serious, Zack Snyder? Like that is grade A Zack Snyder storytelling right there. The unnecessary zombie fetus. Like, why was there a fetus in the zombie? Come on, like, come on.
Yeah, that was too far for me. So I'm like, they're dead. How do they have organs
No,
that produce
Now,
a child?
here's the thing: are they dead? Because at one point, when they're running in the casino and Bautista's character shoots one of them in the head, it looked like a Terminator. I don't know
Oh,
if
the
you
blue
caught
eye,
that.
right? That blue eye.
Yeah, it was like it was like this. It looked like metal skin. It looked like an eye, a metallic eye.
Yeah, I
So I was like, wait,
call it the blue too. I call it the blue eye.
yeah, are these like aliens or are these like robots? What are like? I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
no. They're supposed to be like the ultimate zombies, that mindless beings that could just
Alphas,
listen to
yeah.
orders. But what they didn't, I guess, they didn't count for is that the alpha one was turning them into other alphas that were able to move around and duck. What the craziest thing was when the alpha put on the freaking head mask, I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, he knows. No headshot.
Yeah.
No headshots today.
Yeah. But there was something cool about the way that they did I guess like it almost felt like a video game for the villains, right? Like they first get there, there's a tiger.
Yeah.
What was it? Valentine, the Roy Sigmund
Sigmund,
yeah, old lion there. Then after the lion passed, it was the queen and her, I guess her minion or whatever
Yeah.
was with her. Then it was the main bad guy. And it's just really interesting and cool how they did all the stuff like that. And then you had the bad guys within the team as well, which was kind of like, yo, dude, that was such a dick move, bro. Well, he took the
Right?
freaking glow stick and threw it.
But like,
Yeah.
okay, here's my thing with
Go
that
for it.
scene, because there's a lot of messy parts in this movie, right? And this is where I kind of like, I was just like every now and then like, what the fuck? Like when they did that, was her name Chambers, right? Her name was Chambers.
I
When
don't-
she managed to find her way back to the group by breaking through the window, and she's about to get killed by the zombies, and she's just standing there staring at them for like 5 minutes. Yo, be like, he set me up, like like,
Yeah,
it's
say
just
something.
3 words. She was like, intense eye, eat me, like. And I was like, she didn't say nothing. She had plenty of time, like. And they're all standing there watching her too, like they're like, nah, she's gone. And she's like still shooting and bucking them and everything. No, she's definitely gone.
Don't help. No, it
Don't
doesn't
help
work.
her.
It's not worth it. It's
We
not
got
worth
plenty of bullets, but don't help. Don't help.
Yeah, but her scene when when the zombies first came alive, back to awake or something, and she was just stabbing them in the head.
That was great. That was good.
Oh, kid.
There's a couple of great scenes in there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Brandon, anything else stick out for you during the movie that you liked a lot?
Let's see. I hated and loved the ending. So I actually I think everybody got mad when the daughter went to the Olympus, to the Olympus casino.
Yeah, dude.
But like that little ending like that little ending in that hotel as they're trying to get out, I thought it was really cool and really, really well choreographed. Like I actually got a little like racy in my heart when he was trying to move the mattress out of the way. And I'm like, is he gonna make it? He's gonna make it. Like I got a little racy there. I just think the one thing that really stuck out for me was the ending. Like you felt how rushed the ending was. Like from the second the zombies were in the elevator and they snapped that lady's neck, they just turned her around like that.
Jesus, that was crazy.
Was dirty. But I also felt like she was so underdeveloped as a character, which like sucked because like it took like the emotion out of the moment. Like she just confessed his love for the guy, and like you kind of saw it at the beginning of the movie. It wasn't really developed there. So when she got her neck snapped, I'm like, oh, they just start taking people out now. I was like, this is where people start dying. I'm like, okay, these people are dying now. But like I know from hearing about the movie that like Chris D'Elia was originally in it as Tig.
He was the helicopter.
He was the helicopter pilot at first. So I know like when they put Tig Notaro in there, she had to do a lot of green screen stuff. So like as great as she was, I felt she was underutilized, especially in the last scene in the movie when the chopper goes down. And like you don't even get really any confirmation what happened to Geeta. Like, did she die or not? No one saw her body. Apparently she was
what
in the
happened to her?
helicopter. It was so vague how they ended a lot of it. And it was just like, all right, like this was kind of rushed. But like I said, that's why there's a 4-hour cut sitting somewhere.
Yeah, but whoever did the screening and everything for Tig Notaro to get her in that movie, and to know, like I didn't know it. Watch it, like I would never have thought that was what was happening during the movie. That she was literally every scene was
she was green screened,
just her by herself.
Yeah,
because she was brought in to replace somebody that was in the movie.
Yeah, man.
Because before, when I've heard them say, "Oh, they can do it after in post, they can replace that person," I'm like, "How can you do all that?" Now I see they can actually do that shit.
Yeah, oh shit, they can.
Because I would never have known that there was another person in that role.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I gotta say, I think one of the things that I found like kind of weak in the story was like you could kind of see a lot of things coming. You could see that a lot of the ragtag people that they got in for like $100,000 to get paid, they were gonna die.
Yeah.
I didn't expect all of them to die like that. And then I didn't like the thing with Hedwig's character there, where we didn't see him get bit or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, surprise, he was bit somewhere. He was bit on his arm. So you get the fact that they're gonna they can make a part 2 if they want to, where he's going to he was going to Mexico City.
He was in Mexico City, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, you don't have to do all that. You can find another way to do that. It would have been nice to have one of them get out besides, Batista's daughter in the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even like the way Batista's daughter got into the field either. Like, I'm gonna force myself in there. Like, yo, dude, that there's nothing but craziness on the other side. And like, even though the person she went to go rescue was alive, the chances were slim to none that she'd still be alive. And you're gonna risk it all.
Yeah.
You're gonna, risk the team just for that one cause. Was like, all right.
Gita, the MacGuffin of the movie. The human MacGuffin, Gita.
And she died anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
She died anyway.
Well, I don't know. Did she die? Because we never see her.
I don't know. That
Oh,
was
that's
a
true.
bad
They all
place.
get into the helicopter, and then you don't see her after.
Yeah, it's just shit exploded, but
She exploded with her in it. And the only one who didn't say a word at the end.
oh man.
Right, how did he survive a nuclear blast? I mean, he was
those
supposed to be cold. It wasn't
those
like he was
bank
in a-
vaults are supposed to be like not nuclear proof, but like doomsday proof.
And there was no fallout. It was a nuclear bomb. Like,
Wow.
he came out after.
He should. I thought he was gonna be radiated. I thought he was gonna be like dead because of the radiation. But
Yeah,
No,
I was
he
like,
came
oh
out
my
with
God,
his
he
duffel bags.
yeah.
I was like, oh, he's gonna get a happy ending. I'm like, oh no, he's not.
And then how long did he took to turn? Because in the beginning of the movie, those guys
Exactly.
got bit, and before the guy even turned around, they were already turning.
It's already started changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here he is, had time to walk across
he,
the
he
desert,
walked all the way to Utah, like
rent an airplane, drink a glass of champagne, like. And even with that, he gets to see the bite and go, "Oh shit!" And it still hadn't turned yet.
Yeah, there's some parts that, like I said, it was a really good movie. Like I said, I was entertained by it. I wasn't falling asleep watching it, so that's a good sign. So, but it wasn't great. But it was definitely like I said, 2021 has been a little bit weak with the movies so far, and it's still up there, like in my top 5, top 3 movies so far this year. Even though it was good, it was really good. I did enjoy my time watching it there. Now, any other parts of it disappointed you, Brandon, about the movie, or?
I mean, just the biggest thing was the zombie fetus. I would have liked to see why the queen was so important, other than the zombie fetus. Because we had seen him turn the military people into the first alphas, but we
Where did
never
they
saw
go?
her transformation. Yeah, exactly. Like, they kind of just became alphas. They were part of it. I think I saw the one guy towards the end of the movie, like, die. He was like the one that's hit the glass after the explosion with Guzman.
Okay.
It looked like him. But like, I would have liked to seen why or how he got the queen. Like, for as long as the movie was, like, I think a scene here could have been substituted for that scene.
Yeah. And any takers on that death scene with the tiger, Valentine, the tiger there?
Oh,
When he
it
got the
had to be.
douchebag-
Yeah,
when
that
he got
was
the
great.
douchebag. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That was great.
Kill of the year so far. Yeah. Yeah, man, guys, listen, that's our review there for Army of the Dead. So, you got the spoilers and the non-spoiler there. I hope you guys got a chance to watch it and enjoy it. Again, it's on Netflix there, so you can just pull it up, watch it on your phone or watch it at home. But just be prepared. It's a 2-hour movie, and it's Zack Snyder. Without knowing who directed that movie, you could be like, in the first 15 minutes, like, that looks like kind of like Superman versus Batman. That's Zack Snyder. The cutscenes of them killing zombies.
I was like, this is Zombieland. And I was like, I thought there was going to be so much more to that. Like, I thought that the lady that got crushed by the falling canister thing, I thought she was going to come back as the female alpha. Like, I thought there was going to be a big story element for that. And I was like, oh, no, it's just showing how people died. I'm like, all right.
Very interesting stuff, man.
Yeah.
And the last thing we're going to do before we get up out of here, guys, is we're going to give you a quick little, not beat for beat recap, but more like thoughts of A Quiet Place, because A Quiet Place Part 2 is coming out this weekend for Memorial Day weekend. And just wanted to see where you guys were at as far as this, series goes so far. I mean, with A Quiet Place, I think it was directed or written by John Krasinski, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And he has, I think, like a team of 2 or 3 other guys that helped him out with the story there. But I remember this movie catching me by surprise of how good it was. First time director. I think it was his first time doing something like this, and it was a horror movie, and it actually came off really, really well. I know one of my favorite memories is the beginning part of this movie because it's the way that it's set up. It's I believe they're in the pharmacy, they're trying to buy or look for medicine and things like that, and then the kid finds the spaceship, and I think it's the sister who turns it on for him, and it's just like, what are you doing? But the thing that I remember most about this movie is just how quiet the movie really is until shit goes down or something messes up. And just an intense movie from beginning to end. Absolutely loved A Quiet Place. If you've never seen A Quiet Place Part 1, you need to see it. That's a movie that you need to see. It's amazing if you're into horror movies or just like dramatic movies like that. Very good movie. Brandon, what was your thoughts on A Quiet Place Part 1?
I thought it was incredible. I didn't see it coming from John Krasinski. Like, I thought it was gonna be good. Like, it looked really good from the trailers, but that end product was incredible. From the, like you said, the quietness of the overall movie, like the way they tiptoed around things, the way they made their lives work with everything going on, and then once shit hit the fan, to see all that craziness and how it developed, and spoiler alert, when John Krasinski dies, like that was one of the most like emotional death scenes of my life. Like it was beautiful,
That's
so
a
like
dad. That's a dad.
as he's doing that and she's giving labor, as the monster's in the house, like all these thematic elements happening at the same time. It was incredible, like to see it actually pull off and be done very well.
Yeah, and that's a mom right there too. Delivering a baby, not making any noise, taking it like a champ. Wow. In the bathtub, just by yourself, while a monster's creeping up from behind you. You got to be kidding me. Al, what was your thoughts on The Quiet Place Part 1 there, man?
Same thing. Like, it was a surprise to me because I didn't know what to expect from the movie. I don't know. I don't remember having heard much of the movie.
Right.
Just, it's a horror movie about monsters and so forth. So obviously I had to watch it just based on that. And being surprised with how well it was acted, how well the story was played out and described, and how they addressed everything and explained a lot of stuff, and how it became emotional because you felt that tough dynamic between him and the kids. Especially after the incident involving the brother in the beginning. And then that scene where he has to sacrifice himself so that his family can survive or have a chance to survive, and just being surprised because when he's doing that scene, as emotional as it was, I'm like, yo, that's the guy from Office. I can never stop thinking that. So,
that's the guy from The Office.
Yeah, okay, and it's just a testament to him as an actor because with all the roles he's done since then, I no longer I know that's who he is, but I no longer say that when I see him. I think of what was it, 13 Hours? What was the
13
movie?
Hours.
13
Michael
Hours.
Bay. Yeah.
I think of the series he's got now on Amazon Prime where he plays
Jack
Tom
Ryan,
Clancy, Jack Ryan. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff to say, listen, that's not, yes, that was me, but that's not all that I am. And I got to give it to him as an actor. He's doing a really good job.
Yeah, man. And same goes for Emily Blunt. I remember first seeing her with I'm sure there's probably other movies she's been in, but the one that comes to mind is always the movie she did with Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Live, Die, Repeat, but it was something else before that. And I thought she was fantastic in that movie. But when I saw this movie here, I got the whole sensation of the family, how tight they were, how they were willing to do anything for their kids to survive this horrific thing with the aliens there. But nothing will top the scene where she steps on the nail going down the staircase. Oh, dude, first of all, when she walks past it the first time, I'm like, I get the heebie-jeebies. Anything with like needles, nails going into skin, no, not good with that. But then I just knew in the back of my mind, we're gonna come back to this at some point, and someone's stepping on that damn nail. Oh, dude. when she was walking, she tried to like hold it. And she's like, oh, dude, I'll never forget that scene, man. That
Oh
that
man.
right there, it's crazy, man. How about you, B? Any unforgettable moments from A Quiet Place Part One?
Uh, just when they're out in the fields and they have the flare up and you see the aliens going through the fields, like I thought that was a really cool like cinematography scene there. Of like, can I look at like that little aerial shot, that they had there? I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah. How about you, Al? Man, any shots or anything that sounds or looks so crazy in that Part One for you that always
Not,
stands out to you?
um, just this, I would have to say it's the whole movie. Just every time
Yeah.
they brought those monsters out, like the scene where they're at the edge of the bridge, and I forgot who makes the noise, and the monster just grabs them right there. Every time they show the monster, that's why I'm looking forward to this next movie to see what the hell was the world like when they were just ripping people up left and right because nobody
Yeah.
knew to stay quiet. So yeah, yeah, it just does just that whole movie because I don't know what a life would be like where you had to literally always just do
Yeah.
stuff in silence. So to watch them act out their whole life on that show, on that movie,
Uh-huh.
d- having to be that way, just the whole movie was something to watch for me.
I always think to myself when I watch that movie, like how I would not have lasted. Because, like, you ever have, like, we all, either married, Brandon's fiance. I don't know if this ever happens to you guys where your fiance or your wife looks at you and they, like, mouth something to you. And I'm like, what?
That was me every day.
What?
Can you just say it louder?
I can't read lips. What are you saying? Like, I we would not last in that movie. Just that's all I know. And my kids are super loud. One of my kids, if he's talks so loud, we're like, shh. He goes, why? Is somebody sleeping? So that's the only time he can be quiet if he feels that someone's sleeping. So it's just the family would not make it past the first day. It's just insane, man. But
Okay.
to kind of give you guys like where they left off in the movie, because I remember it so clearly now, is that I believe that the daughter had a hearing piece because she was deaf, and that hearing piece, when they were trying to repair it, created some kind of a sound or a high frequency sound that happens to disrupt those monsters. And makes them go crazy and makes them like kind of like either stiffen up or just stay still, or I don't know what it is that happens to them anymore. But
Mhm.
and I think because of that device, that's when Emily Blunt's character got a chance to actually take down these monsters because they were like just awestruck because of this high frequency sound.
Mhm.
And then I remember the ending of the movie was there was two more coming at them, and Emily Blunt just with the shotgun, the classic,
Yeah.
So, and that's how that movie ended. So now, like, just to finalize the episode here, guys, for today, what are you expecting, or what are your thoughts on this next movie? What does it have to do to make you happy about where it's going? Because that's a lot of problems with some of these movies. Like they're so good, these first movies, that they have to do a second one, or they make so much money that they give the studios a reason to make a second one. But sometimes it just doesn't live up to the expectations because of how good the first movie was. And in this situation is where I'm kind of worried because that first one was incredible. With the people come up with these movie concepts, it's usually just one concept. They don't even
Mhm.
think they're going to make a second one sometimes. So, Al, what's your thoughts on like what are you expecting to see for the second one, or what's your hopes there?
Well, just to explain a little bit more, how did they get here? What's their goal? Um, so, because right now it just looks like they're just attacking and destroying and eating, so to speak.
Right.
But is there an ulterior motive? If they're very simplistic creatures, how did they get here? Or it'll be nice to show kind of like what they did with Army of the Dead, where you see the dynamic of the zombies and the different
Hmm.
structure. It'd be interesting to see if they could delve into that with these monsters. Like, have we just been seeing their attack dogs, and there's actually a different hierarchy beyond them?
Oof, that's
So
tough.
that, yeah, okay. So that'll be interesting to see if there is something like that. Because
Hmm.
now that they have a weapon that they can use and then hopefully spread that knowledge, throughout the rest of the world, and
Hmm.
then we start fighting back, it'll be interesting to see if they can then incorporate the rest of what else is going on.
Gotcha, man. How about you, B? What are you looking forward to seeing in a part 2, or what are you hoping for?
I just want to see how they work the memory of John Krasinski's father into it, because we've seen him in the trailers a couple times now.
Hmm.
I want to see how it works in there. Like, is it a PTSD thing, or is it just them recalling memories with him in certain places? Um, for me, to be honest, like, I have the same fears about sequels all the time. If the
Hmm.
sequel can live up to the original, was there really a need for a sequel in the first place? And since this one has a sequel, my hoping is that I just hope that it has the same level of storytelling as the first one. Like, I don't care what I see, what I learn about the monsters, as long as I get like that same level of storytelling. Because the first one did a great job of just having the monsters there, and through the movie we learned how he came up with the process of figuring out their weakness. Like
Hmm.
I'm fine with something that develops on that kind of motif, as long as we have a good story.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, looking forward to it this weekend, and we'll talk this week, boys, about how we're gonna check this movie out if we do want to, or if we're gonna maybe try to rent out a theater, or maybe catch it on our own separately. But we'll talk about it during the week, and hopefully next week we'll give you guys a review. Watching the podcast here, we'll give you a review of A Quiet Place Part 2 coming out Memorial Day weekend. And that's gonna be it for us today, guys. We're going to talk again next week in regards to some of the movie news that comes out, and possibly Cruella as well, because that comes out on Disney Plus. So,
Okay.
if anything, guys, be safe. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Remember what Memorial Day weekend is for. It's not
Mhm.
just barbecues and burgers, people.
Yes.
So, enjoy it. And we'll be back next week again, coming out of Long Island, New York. You got myself, Hav, and we got my man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
We got my brother, B.
Adios, everyone.
And myself, Hop, again saying thank you so much for watching and listening. Please subscribe, add us to your playlist for your podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Until next time.